Monsters of Chernobyl. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the eerie world of Chernobyl and its so-called monsters of Chernobyl. You might have heard the rumors, the wild tales, and the creepy legends about mutated creatures roaming the exclusion zone after that catastrophic nuclear disaster in 1986. But what's really going on there? Let's separate fact from fiction and explore the fascinating and unexpected wildlife that has made this abandoned area their home. The Chernobyl disaster. So, quick refresher. In April 1986, the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in what was then the Soviet Union experienced a catastrophic explosion during a safety test. It resulted in one of the worst nuclear accidents in history. A massive amount of radioactive material was released into the atmosphere, leading to the evacuation of over 100,000 people and the establishment of the Chernobyl exclusion zone, a 30-kilometer radius where no human is allowed to live or go without special permission. The immediate effects were devastating, but the long-term impacts on the environment are what really pique our interest today. The concept of monsters. Now, when we talk about monsters, we're not just talking about creepy creatures lurking in the shadows. This term also covers the wider fears and myths that have snowballed since the disaster. The idea of mutated animals has captured the imagination of many, often fueled by sensational stories and films. But let's not forget, the real monsters here are the consequences of human actions and our misinterpretations of what happens in areas affected by radiation. Radiation and its effects on wildlife. Let's get into the science a little bit. Radiation can cause mutations, but it doesn't always mean you're going to end up with a three-headed creature or something out of a horror movie. In fact, studies show that some wildlife species are surprisingly thriving in the area. Animals like wolves, wild boars, and even birds have been seen in increasing numbers. Researchers have found that while some mutations do occur, many species in Chernobyl are adapting and living healthy lives. It's a bit of a mixed bag, really. Yes, the levels of radiation can affect health, but the absence of humans has allowed natural ecosystems to recover in fascinating ways. Noteworthy species found in Chernobyl. Speaking of thriving wildlife, let's shine a spotlight on some of the unique species found in Chernobyl. One amazing example is the Przewalski's horse, a wild horse that has made a comeback in Chernobyl after being nearly extinct. Then there's the European bison, which has found a safe haven in this vast, unspoiled land. And let's not overlook the incredible bird population that has increased since humans left. All of these species contribute to a surprising and vibrant ecosystem that shows us nature's resilience, the role of human interpretation. It's interesting how our perceptions of Chernobyl have been shaped. The media and folklore have painted a picture of terrifying monsters and doom. These stories tap into our fascination and fear of the unknown, leading many to imagine that animals in the exclusion zone are some sort of horror movie creatures. But in reality, they're just regular animals adapting to their environment, proving that our imagination can often run wilder than the truth. Scientific studies and discoveries. Researchers are really diving into the impacts of the Chernobyl disaster, and it's not all doom and gloom. Current studies focus on how radiation affects not just mutations, but broader biodiversity. Scientists are also looking into conservation efforts to protect the flourishing wildlife that has returned. It's fascinating to see how life is finding a way, and these discoveries remind us that even in dire circumstances, nature tends to bounce back, whether we're talking about plants, wildlife, or entire ecosystems. So, to wrap things up, the monsters of Chernobyl are less about scary mutations and more about understanding how life thrives even in challenging environments. While radiation is a serious concern, it's the human story intertwined with nature that truly captivates us. Remember, being curious and seeking the truth is always more rewarding than holding on to myths. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into Chernobyl. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more cool content, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Stay tuned for our next adventure, where we'll uncover more hidden stories from the past.